Hello, I'm Travis Wilson, and I'm here at the Old Stone Chapel in historic St. Charles, Missouri on Main Street. This beautiful venue offers a place to have a wedding, a reception, or any event of your choosing. So come with me as we check it out. I'm joined today by Old Stone Chapel owner Sherry Steffens and her wedding planner, Kristen Chamberlain. Ladies, thank you so much for taking the time to be with me today. It's good to have you.
Thank you.
So Sherry, tell me a little bit about this beautiful building we have here. It's just gorgeous. It seems like it has all the amenities of a great place to have an event. Tell me about how you got started here with the Old Stone Chapel.
Well, actually I've been in St. Charles for about 25 years with the Heart of St. Charles. And just a few short years ago, and actually the Stone Chapel is very special to me because I pursued that at a time where there was a lot of changes in my life. And the Stone Chapel is basically a culmination of my many years of wedding experience all into one place. It's the perfect location, it's intimate, it holds only about 200 people, has a beautiful historic chapel attached, has courtyard, fireplace, waterfall, and it's elegant. So it has pretty much everything a bride would want.
Tell me a little bit about the beginning, how you got started, and what led up to this point.
Okay, well, that's great. So wedding planning wasn't in the original plan. I'm a classical pianist. That's what I went to school for, and graduated and was working in that field when I got married, planned my own wedding, and really enjoyed the process. And I thought, I think I could do this. And shortly after, I opened my first location, and it was in South County, and it went like gangbusters. And 2 years later, I opened another location in Sunset Hills. And then the next location was St. Charles. We landed. I saw this unique building on the bluff with all this glass. I thought, I think I can do something with that building. And we remodeled, worked on it for quite a while, and it's done well for us. So we like to call it the Heart of St. Charles Ballrooms.
Ooh, the Heart of St. Charles
That's
Ballrooms.
Right. There you go.
So do you have any wedding stories that you can share with us? I realize you can't share every one, but tell me about some of the good ones you've experienced here.
Well, I can think of one in particular. I have several wedding planners, and it was a Saturday night. It's a full house. And Karen, who's one of my executive planners, was just walking out of one of the ballrooms, and she was just white as a ghost. And I look at her, and it's like, okay, what's wrong? And she said, my buffet just crashed on the floor. And all our eyes were about like saucers. So, but every person in that building, all the staff ran to the dance floor. I mean, we had it cleaned up in no time and ready to go. So Kristen, I remember the bride's mom came in about a year later, and Kristen was handling the booking, and she had told us one of the reasons she booked was, again, for her other daughter, was because we handled that situation so well and so quickly. So that was kind of a good coming out of a bad situation, and I was really happy about that.
The hardest thing for me is when my bride has lost her dad, because right before they walk down the aisle, I think building that personal relationship with them is really important. Being involved is what makes you a good wedding planner. So knowing like beforehand, before I even walk in to hear on her wedding day that her dad's passed away, then I know it's going to be more of a touchy topic right before she walks down the aisle. So I think it's really helpful to kind of have that personal relationship with them. So when they see you, it's not, oh, she just works here at the Old Stone Chapel. It's more like, oh, Kristen, they give me a hug, or I need a water, or I'm freaking out, or whatever it is. I think it's really important to just stay calm and just really assure them that everything's going to be fine. And bringing me back to the dad story, before they walk down the aisle, it's really hard because they always get emotional right before then. So you really want to know stuff about them so you can kind of change the topic and put something else on their mind right before they walk down the aisle, and give them tips on helping them, like where to hold the bouquet and little things that isn't really in our job title, but we do to really just pull through and make sure the event goes great. Things like that really stand out to them. The mom appreciates that at the end of the night. She's like, thank you for helping.
What's really funny is I get so many comments, and people, when we are looking for jobs, someone to work jobs, and they want to be a wedding planner. Everybody wants to be a wedding planner. And they think it's a glamorous job, a wonderful job, but they really don't realize the wedding planner has to do absolutely anything. I know Kristen, from holding the baby or giving them a ride. When
when the party bus leaves them.
Wait a minute, the party bus left the bride and groom?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
I don't even know how that happened.
Yes, it was crazy. They were downstairs taking pictures, and I was up here just cleaning up after the bridal party was in here, and I went downstairs, and everybody was gone but the bride and groom, and they're like, well, okay, we're going to leave, and they went upstairs, and the party bus had left them. And I was like, what? And so they called some of their bridal party and was like, hello, we're still here at the Old Stone Chapel. And they're like, well, we're at the hotel. So I had to take them in my car to the hotel. And my bride had this huge dress on, and I actually passed Sherry on the way to the hotel. And she's looking at me like, what? Because the girl's dress, it was like the whole front seat of I have a little Corolla, so I don't have a big car, and so they were like stuffed in my car, and I ended up having to take them to the hotel. Well, then the party bus had already came back to get them. So then I just had to wait for them to come back to the hotel. So
to my point, you have to be ready for anything.
Yes.
Anything to help make the day go smooth.
And so what I'm hearing between your story about the crash buffet and your story about the nervous moms and the nervous brides and how to take care of that, what sets you apart, it seems, in my opinion, is the customer service aspect, that you really do care and you really are willing to do whatever it takes to make sure that the day is special. Am I hearing that correctly?
Definitely.
That is the most important aspect of our business. We get all kinds of events, from corporate to birthday parties, anniversaries, weddings, and we treat each one like it's our only one. But really about 7 years ago, I totally revamped my business and changed it to be more customer service oriented, added the wedding planner aspect, and it has really made a huge difference, and I think that's kind of what sets us apart from the other people.
Well, it's not just the fact that we would have to take your word for it. You were actually given an award for being one of the best employers in the city of St. Charles. Is that right?
Well, actually, how many awards did we get?
We got 4 awards last year.
4 awards last year,
awards
yes.
last year, really?
Yes, I love the 2015 Employer of the Year was awesome. Beyond the Best Award, that was from Streetscape magazine.
Streetscape magazine, okay.
Awarded us that. The Small Business Monthly awarded us the Fastest Growing Business Award, and then Best in Reliability was Small Business Monthly too.
Yes.
There were 2. So
Wow.
yeah, so we're really proud of that.
And so especially that Best in Reliability, that sounds like it's right
We've
on the
actually
mark.
won that 3 years in a row.
3 years in a row we've gotten that award.
3 years in a row.
And that's important to us because we want people to be able to know they can count on us, to have a flawless event. So that's really what we aim for.
Outstanding. Absolutely outstanding. Well, one of the things that really strikes me as being an interesting aspect of your business is not only are you taking care of people, but you're also actually hosting ceremonies, not just receptions, but you have an entire chapel downstairs. Tell me a little bit about how you had come to incorporate that aspect in your business.
The chapel. Yes, when I first started pursuing the chapel, that's the building that appealed to me, was the old stone building, the rectangular, skinny size of it, and the beautiful stone. I thought that would make a great chapel. So it started with the chapel, and then expanded to the ballroom on site as well. So it was really the chapel that appealed me to the property. And I know there's more of a demand lately to get married in the same location that you have your reception. It's becoming more and more popular. And so this just was an added element to our already successful business. So
I can imagine. It certainly makes the logistics a lot easier when you're trying to move a group of people from one venue to another.
Right.
If all they have to do is walk upstairs, then I can see how that could be
that's
very
the
helpful.
best. But we also have a lot of people that will get married at
Here.
the Old Stone Chapel and have their reception just right up the hill at the Heart too.
Oh, really?
So we have a lot of that.
I can see how that would be helpful. as well.
And a lot of people just have their ceremony and then go wherever that they may go. So we have a lot of people just to come here to get married as well.
Well, it's great that you have that available. And, speaking of people getting married and the events you have, can you tell me, in the 25 years that you've been operating your business here in St. Charles, how have things changed from the beginning when you first started?
So traditionally,
Yes.
whenever you were going to have an event, you would go book a room and you'll have a meal. And that was really the extent of what you were doing. It's become so much more than that now. It's really, as we stated before, become a full service operation where we hold the bride's hand basically from the beginning to the end, every step of the process, because most of them have not done this before. We've done this for 25 years, and so we know a lot of the ins and outs and what can go wrong. The customer service, I think, is the most important aspect of our business. So.
And I think it's important to also stay with the trends. Like me personally, I have a Pinterest page, and I'm on there like I'm a bride, constantly pinning just wedding cakes, different ideas, so that when my brides say, like, oh, I saw this idea where we had like a live fish in our centerpiece or something, I'm like, oh yeah, I've seen that before, or I saw that on Pinterest. It really makes them feel like, okay, so this isn't crazy, this is doable, and just really doing everything in one package deal where it's not confusing. A lot of places you go and it might be this, but then you have to add this and this. We kind of put everything in one price where it's convenient and it's not hard to understand. And like she said, you know, most people, it's their first time. So a lot of people, they'll call and be like, hi, I just got engaged, and that's all I know what to say, you know, and then you really have to kind of say, okay, well, and then not only that, but just really giving them other questions that they didn't ask that they might want to consider asking, and just really helping them throughout the whole way.
And so it sounds like you have several different aspects that you're incorporating. You have the Old Stone Chapel, which is downstairs here. You have your reception room that's available here. Mm-hmm. You have your ballrooms that are available at the Heart of St. Charles. And not only do you have the physical venue, but you also have the amenities such as a wedding planner, and you also have a baker on staff, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
right?
I have a great staff. So we have about 6 full-time employees and probably about 20 part-time. And that would include the kitchen staff. You've got your bartenders and your servers and my wedding planners. One person we left out, which is very important to me, is my chef. He does a great job. We have fabulous food, so which is very important to me. And we work hard. We actually change some of the recipes from time to time. We experiment and on what we think, you know, everybody would really like. So it's constant changing process, which I think people like as well. And yes, I have a bakery at the Heart of St. Charles. And that's Lori, and she does an awesome job. She does all of our desserts, but she does desserts for other places like Picasso's and Tony's on Main and other places as well. So people can even order a dessert through here, through the Heart of St. Charles. So
that's absolutely fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
You know, why don't we take a minute and actually talk to Laurie? Does that sound okay?
That's perfect.
All right, so we're going to have Laurie here in just a moment. Kristen, thank you so much for joining us. Stay tuned. We'll be with you in just a moment. So now we have Sherry's baker, Laurie Hollis, with us. Laurie, thank you for joining us.
Hi.
So glad you could be with us today. So Laurie, Sherry was just telling us about how you are the baker that she has on staff here, and I understand that you make a wide array of different goodies, so why don't you tell us a little about that?
I do. Well, I'm very passionate about flavors and combinations. And so we do wedding cakes, of course, and then we also do dessert buffets, which are an assortment of different types of desserts, cakes, tarts, trifles, things like that, cheesecake, cream puffs, really anything I can think of that might be interesting for the bride or whatever party we're doing.
Very good. Yeah. And so walk me through a little bit. You said that you do all of these. What sort of preparation goes into when you have an event such as a wedding or a special event with the Chamber of Commerce or whatnot, and you're responsible for preparing desserts for 200 people? What goes into that?
Well, first I find out what type of desserts they want, if there's any allergies or anything that they particularly love or don't like, and then I cater the desserts to that. Then it's pretty much up to me to come up with different flavors and combinations that I think, you know, maybe seasonal or anything like that.
It's not just that, but the presentation. She does really good job with making things look spectacular, right. and that's what we like.
Yeah, people eat with their eyes first,
right.
so it's got to look good, and then of course taste delicious.
Very cool. And you actually have an office up at Heart of St. Charles where you and your other staff members have been working. I've stopped by and seen you there before. So.
Yes, and we've just remodeled our office, so you'll have to come take a look.
I would look forward to that, absolutely. So do you give back to the community in any way, Sherry?
Yeah, so I think that's very important. I have a son with autism, so that particular charity is near and dear to my heart. But many times when a charity will come to me perhaps and wants to hold an event, I either greatly discount the room or I just give them the room and let them do what they wish with that. But besides that, even in the community where the Old Stone Chapel is, it's made room for more construction, more businesses. The Old Stone Chapel in itself has paved a way for more in Main Street.
And correct me if I'm wrong, but don't you have some plans in the works to maybe be expanding to another location, a third location?
I do, breaking ground across the road to our new location, La Belle Cour, and it will just be a ballroom with a mezzanine overlooking, and again, about 200 people, but it'll be very elegant and very popular, I hope.
Well, it sounds absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, we're excited about it.
Tell me a little bit about how people can get a hold of you.
Well, obviously we have a website. HSC Ballrooms is the best, or the oldstonechapel.com. Either way, you can get a hold of us. Our hours are pretty much Monday through Saturday, 10 to 4 in the office, although we work weekends a lot. So you can get a hold of us a lot. But yes, those are the best ways to get a hold of us.
And you're also listed in the wedding guide that was produced by the Greater St. Charles Convention and Visitors Bureau right here on Main Street as well. Correct. Is that correct?
That is correct.
And so that's a great resource. Well, thank you, ladies. I'm so glad to have been here today with you. Sherry, I appreciate your time.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
And Laurie, it was great to be here with you. For Kristen as well, I'm Travis Wilson, and this has been Check Out St. Charles. Thank you for watching.